lots of subcategories in here to be concerned about. The one that I think a lot of people are very, very concerned about is privacy. I was looking at this photograph, this book of photography before, and you can see how these drones can get up incredibly high and take incredibly specific photos. And it makes you just, the mind boggles at what drone photographers are able to do and going to be able to do. And you mentioned something a moment ago about privacy with respect to sunbathing and things like that. I remember a case I heard about last year where a young woman was sunbathing in her backyard, and a neighbor sent over a drone and was taking photographs and or taking videos, and the father came out of the young girl and shot down the drone.
Oh, geez.
And then he got arrested.
Yeah.
And what we don't know yet is, I haven't followed up on the case far enough yet to know whether or not he's been prosecuted or whether the case was dropped.
You know, I did read something about that actually, and there is a case that's pending in the Western District of Kentucky in federal court over that very same issue, somebody shooting down a drone. I think it's right, as we currently sit here, it's been briefed on a motion to dismiss, and the issue being whether or not the court has jurisdiction over what the defendant claims is just purely a state law issue, and the plaintiff, of course, considers it to be a federal issue. So it'll be an interesting one to watch.
Well, like so many things, I think with technology as it develops, this is going to be a fertile area for we lawyers.
Yes.
And for you young lawyers out there, it's going to be a fantastic new area to learn lots about, both from the privacy areas, and we're going to talk later about intellectual property and things like that. What about state law?
You know, California has taken some steps to address the privacy-related issues. California has laws that pertain to paparazzi. You know, it's a big deal. It's a big issue for people in Los Angeles, in our movie industry. Previously, there had been a civil code section. I think it's 17.08.8, and that had to do with intentionally getting photographs of people, and obviously it's targeted at paparazzi that were taking pictures from long distances of celebrities and then using those. And just recently, last year, and it was signed by by Governor Brown and enacted made effective this year, it added the words airspace above the land to that what is effectively a trespass statute. And it does require that someone knowingly enter for the purpose of doing this. So in terms of a commercial business worried about that statute, I'm not quite so sure that they would be close to that. It would just be dependent upon what their purpose was and what they were doing. But there is plenty of opportunity out there for somebody's commercial exemption that they may have under Section 333 that kind of governs what they believe they can do as set forth by the FAA letter that they get, for that to clash with state law provisions, because there is this ambiguity that sort of exists between what is private airspace and what is public airspace. And trying to navigate, those distinctions will be difficult, especially if you end up with sort of the confusing patchwork of differing laws from differing cities and different states and that kind of thing. So, but traditionally states have been able to use their police power to regulate issues such as land use and zoning and privacy and trespass. And it seems as though, especially given the fact sheet that we talked about at the beginning of this section, that those are going to be continued to be reserved to the states, and so it will be important for people to keep current on what laws are being passed and implemented in their state.